Dexter, Showtime's masterpiece anti-hero TV series that ended on the most bafflingly disgusting ends of all time. Until now, Dexter New Blood, here 10 years later to fix all the mistakes of Season 8. Yeah, so, Dexter New Blood finale just came out and the response, it's not been great, not great. In fact, it's been bad. Very bad, in fact. People hate it. If you told me 10 years ago that people at some point in the future would be clamoring to have Dexter stay as a lumberjack forever, and Season 8 was the best finale we'll ever get, I'd call you a goddamn liar. But here we are, living in a world where Dexter not only has, a one bad finale, but it has a two bad finale. So I thought, there's nothing else to do, there's nothing else to say, except to have them versus. Have them face off, finale, first finale, and find out, once and for all, which one is the worst Dexter finale. I'll be your judge for tonight. I'll be presenting all the findings and contrasting, comparing, and all the things. I'll be like Dumbledore. I'll be handing out points, throwing them everywhere, and we'll finally find out, once and for all, because this is it. I mean, this will only be facts, only facts. And by facts, I mean my biased opinion. Think of me as your judge, jury, and Dextercutioner. Should I give this script another pass? I mean, why should I? The Dexter writers surely didn't. Alright, let's do this. If something's good, -1 point. If something's bad, +1 point. Let's get into this, baby! Round 1. Opening credits. Dexter had the most amazing opening credits. So beautiful, so majestic, so just wonderful. And so yeah, -1 point to Dexter Season 8. Unlike original Dexter, Dexter New Blood's titles are atrocious. I think they're trying to go for like a Breaking Bad supernatural title thing where it's a quick, fast, but it's this cheap, terrible, frozen Dexter thing, and the New Blood, like every episode is like it gets bloodier and bloodier, but it's like you just stole it from Invincible. What are you thinking? And so big point for that. Big point. 2 actually. Makes me furious. 2 points. And then an extra third plus point, because after that, you get this fast, rapid-fire montage of spoilers of the episode. Unnecessary, terrible, give me a long-form opening credits. And if anyone doesn't want to watch a long-form opening credits, you can just skip it. Round 2. Opening scene. An absolutely tensionless start. Oh no, we can't get on this plane. Oh no, that private eye guy, he's at the airport. Oh no, it's bad. +1. So the opening scene of Dexter New Blood is we get a little podcast from Mary fucking Kill. One last podcast, and it's as terrible as all our other podcasts. Very badly scripted. Don't know why anyone listens, but she's talking about stuff, and then we get to Dexter, and he's all like, oh, look at all these townsfolk, look at all the people that you don't remember that haven't been in the show since episode 3. Oh, this is why I came to this town. And, it's not great, but it's not the worst thing, and it's got this foreboding sense that he's happy and safe and secure, and it's just got that foreboding sense that it's a finale, so that's not gonna last. So that part of it I quite did enjoy. At this point, all the potential is still there. It's all still there. So yeah, -1 point for that. Round 3. Side characters. So in this episode, there's side characters that I care about, so that's a -1. None of these characters have been in since the start. I couldn't care less. They could have done more, but I also just don't care. You've been focusing on Harrison and Dexter, which has worked. But the side characters, I couldn't care less about any of them, so that's a big +2 for me. Oh wait, except for Yellow Eyes, the billionaire guy. Where the hell's he been since episode 3? Where the hell was he? +2. Round 4. My name's Dexter and I gotta get out of Dodge. So in the first finale, Dexter had to get out of Miami, and it's fine, it's fine, but he has to leave with Hannah, and I hate Hannah, so I hate the idea that he wants to live happily ever after with Hannah, so big no from me, so double points, because I really don't like Hannah, so big 2 points there. So it's another series finale for Dexter, and so of course that means he's got to leave town again, because for some reason that's this weird trope that he has in his finales. I can't wait for the inevitable second revival of Dexter New Blood, and then in that series finale he can be like, I'm gonna subvert your expectations. We're going back to Miami. Oh shit! So yeah, in this episode, him and Harrison, they need to escape so they can be father and son, dark passenger, serial killer guys, vigilantes, he's Batman and Harrison's going to be his Robin. And I like this idea, I like getting out of Dodge and killing the serial killers of the world, and so that's a really nice setup, so I actually really enjoy that. So -1 point. Round 5. Cheeky little Easter egg, or whatever. Ice Truck Killer reference. We see a van, and it's got the Ice Truck Killer van thingy on it. It's just a fun little reference. It's a nice callback to season 1. Oh, back in the day when his brother was the serial killer trying to, cat and mouse him and all this stuff. I really like little Easter egg callbacks like this. Really fun in a finale when it just kind of reminds you of where the show was and where it started. So I really, really like that. So -1 point. So the Easter egg I enjoyed the most from this episode, I'm sure there were more that I didn't pay attention to because I don't care or I just didn't notice, but there's the moment where Harrison's like calling Dexter on his bullshit towards the end, and he's just like, open your eyes, look at what you've done! Which is a callback to Dexter in the pilot in the first scene with the first guy that he's like, look at what you've done! Bloody look at all these bodies! And he's like got all the kids' bodies there and it's completely horrific. So his first kill for the show being Harrison's first kill for the show, and they say the same thing. So I like that. That's a fun little Easter egg callback thingy. So yeah, -1. Round 6, flashback. The Dexter and Deb flashback in this episode is really nice. It's really, really sweet. It's beautiful. It's a really great idea to have Dexter like see Harrison like for the first time. It's kind of like moments of life, of birth, and it really contrasts like the death of Deb and the death, in big giant quotation marks of Dexter. So it's really, really nice. One little nitpick I would have, and this isn't my idea, it's my brother's, but I think it's spectacular, is that this scene should have been in the cold open. Should have been the first scene of the episode, so you start the episode with birth, end the episode with death, and I think that would have really, really worked. But regardless of placement, really, really great scene, really beautiful, really heartfelt, and it's great to see Deb and Dexter together, happy. They're so happy at that point, it's really heartwarming, it's beautiful, and so yeah, that's a -1 point. In fact, I'm giving that -2 points. Really great scene, loved it. Alright, so this one's pretty easy. Dexter New Blood doesn't have any flashbacks, so I think that's really bad. That's lame. I love the idea of a flashback, especially in the finale, because it kind of reminds you of where the show started, where it all began, or, at least picking a point somewhere in there that kind of reminds you of where they've been and now where they are. And I think that's really, really important. The original Dexter barely does anything right in that finale, but, they had a flashback. It was really, really powerful. This could have done anything in any part of Dexter and Harrison's life together before, and they could have even just used the same scene, but extra footage, or even just the same footage, or something like that would have been really nice, of Dexter seeing Harrison for the first time as a baby, and, comparing what we're going to see at the end, of Dexter holding Harrison as a baby. I think that flashback would actually work better for this finale, so big 2 points. Round 7, the serial killer of the year. The brain surgeon is still in this show, still taking up screen time, taking up just waste of space, this charismaless, terrible, terrible villain. I absolutely loathe him. I hate every single aspect of his character. Why the hell is he even in the back half of this season? It should have just been the Hunt for the Bay Harbor Butcher Part 2. But no, he's like, it's me, I've killed Zach off screen. It's me, the brain surgeon, the worst character in the world. I don't like the brain surgeon. Oh, no. So yeah, 3 points for him still being in this finale. He sucks. So Kurt Coldwell, or as I like to refer to him, the Doll Maker, he's dead. He's not in the finale. On paper, having him not in this episode, I think really, really works. I think he doesn't need to be in it at this point. I think we need to focus completely on Dexter every single second, and any second we've been spending trying to get rid of him would just be a waste of time. So I'm really, really glad that he's dead and not in this episode, unlike the brain surgeon in season 8. So this one, it's a big yay. So that's a -2 points from me. Round 8. Dexter goes classic Dexter and gets his bloody murder on mate. So in this episode, Dexter kills the brain surgeon. He's there in the cop station. There's cameras on him and everything. And he mildly provokes him, but he just flat out kills him like a trained killer. Like, it's not self-defense. He just goes straight for the jugular, gets him good. It's horrific and clearly like clinically murder kind of moment. And then it's completely ruined and wasted because Quinn and Angel could have this great moment where they're like, wait, all these things are clicking in their brains. But they're just like, yeah, screw that guy. He deserves to die because he killed Deb. And it's an absolute wasted opportunity. It's just really frustrating. Not seeing Quinn and Angel's reactions post-brain surgeon murder with Dexter and just Dexter going off and then the season ends. It's just such a waste. These are huge, huge characters. And them seeing Dexter do this so late in the game could have come into some big reveal. I love the idea that maybe Quinn and Angel could have realized he was the Bay Harbor Butcher in this moment. And Angel and Quinn are like very, very similar. But they could have had this divide, like a polarizing divide that kind of would have like paralleled how the audience would have felt. Where like Quinn could have been like, I'm going to let you get away because you're the Bay Harbor Butcher and all these people deserve to die. Screw the brain surgeon. And then Angel's like, I also agree, screw the brain surgeon, but also you're just a murderer, so I can't let that slide. And, just having that divide, that moment, there's so much potential there, so much wasted potential. So it really, really disappoints me. So I've got to give that like a +3 for that. Like, it's real bad. Dexter kills Logan. Oh boy. This is kind of the moment where for some people the show goes off the rails, but for me, This was when the show was getting to the most exciting. It kind of peaked at this point where I'm like, oh my god, we're getting Dexter Unchained, finally. And like, I just thought it was so exciting, so amazing. So a big minus for killing Logan. -2 for Dexter Unchained, just finally seeing him unleash like a wild rabid animal who's, willing to kill innocent people to survive. This kind of moment that I really wanted from the character. I understand some people don't want it, but I really enjoyed seeing that moment. But I'm going to have to give it a +1 for me not really giving a shit about Logan. Like, I don't really care he died. That should have been so emotionally heartbreaking. As well as me cheering that Dexter's Unchained, I should have been like, oh, I can't believe he killed Logan, though. It's so sad. Like, if I compare that to the idea of him doing that to Masuka or Quinn or Angel, it's like, night and bloody day, mate. Night and bloody day. Like, I can't even. So, yeah. Actually, another plus point, because I really didn't care about Logan. And another plus point for the lack of real motivation to try and escape via murder that way. He had enough alibi, and they didn't really have enough to stick it on him. Maybe, he was really afraid that Angel was going to come, but we never really had that moment where you realize it was exactly that. He needed maybe another scene with him and Deb to, have that moment in the cell where you realize, okay, no, he does need to escape. He's kind of come to this conclusion with all his, brain working smarts. Because when he's talking with Angela, he's like, actually, you think it's me because of ABC? Well, what about ABC and this other thing? He's poking all the holes in all the things, and it's like, you could probably get off. Like, he could probably just stay in prison and not murder anybody like that. So, I don't know. That's another plus point. No, have I already given the plus point? It doesn't matter. The number's there. Round 9. Just a fun little tiny moment with Harrison. So this is a personal favourite moment of mine for the entire finale. I mean, that's not saying much, it's a bad finale, but I absolutely love it. So Hannah, Harrison, they're on the bus. They're about to escape to Argentina. And then Harrison's like, spin me a yarn about Argentina. Tell me the tales of this land I'm going to. And then Hannah goes to start speaking, and almost immediately, Harrison is just like, bam, asleep, just gone. He is so bored by her boring, charismaless, just words pouring out, just seeping out of her mouth. He's just like, nah, I'd rather go to sleep. He just goes to sleep. And it's amazing. It's hilarious. Just Google the scene and I just love it so much. So I'm going to give that a -3 points because it's truly a wondrous scene. Everyone's favourite wrestling coach gives Harrison a jumper, and everyone in town's like, oh, you're winning the town now, Harrison. And it's a nice, warm moment. Actually, you know what? I feel like I'm stretching there. That's not really that nice a moment. Oh, actually, way better moment. Scratch that, ignore that. Harrison and Logan. Everyone's favourite wrestling coach / cop. The most lovable side character. Logan, the guy's name I had to Google after the finale. I'm like, who's that guy? What was his name? Logan. It's Logan, everybody. Logan's like, have a bloody burger. I know everything's tough. And he's like, it's not that tough. Look at me, I'm eating a burger. I've got this jumper you gave me. I'm having a time. And Logan's like, don't eat too many burgers every day. And it's like, it's fine. But the moment that made me just so happy. I mean, apart from the fact that over the entire season, Harrison has just been not eating Dexter's food. At one point, Dexter's made him this delicious home-cooked meal. And he just picks it up, plate and cutlery and all, and throws it all in the bin. All in the bin, with the plate. Disgraceful. So many moments of this season, Harrison was just not eating food, not enjoying it, and this episode he's just like eating the burger, being like, I'm having a time, I'm loving it. So much so that he has the audacity to be like, are you done with those fries? Does he look done? He's barely taken a bite of his burger, mate. He's probably just not hungry yet. He's getting to it, mate. He's getting to it. And then he just grabs the fries and he's like, even as a cheeky little... Incredible. Amazing. I love it. I think of it as kind of like a symbolic moment for Harrison, in this moment where for the whole season he's like, I just wanted my dad to love me. Why should he love me? But now him and Dexter, they're tight. They're together. They just love each other so very, very much. And, at this point, Harrison, you son of a fucking bitch. And so the reason that he's able to eat, the burger and just be like chuffing down chips and being like, scoffing. I meant scoffing. It doesn't matter. He's eating the chips. He's like, is because, he's at peace. He's finally at peace. So symbolically, if you look at his eating patterns over the season, there's a character arc right there. It's like Jamie Lannister's hair. You look at his hair over the 8 seasons. Character arc, just in the hair. It's like that with Harrison, but for the way he eats. -2 points. Actually, -3 points, because I love how it's, it was just something that been bugging me all season with these bloody little eating things, and then this little moment just brought me a lot of joy. Round 10. Dexter abandons Harrison. Hate this moment. One of the worst parts of the finale, maybe even of the whole show. Absolutely loathe it. I hate the fact that he abandons Harrison. But the worst part is that he abandons Harrison with Hannah. Because he wants to leave Harrison so that his dark passenger doesn't corrupt his son. But then he leaves him with another serial killer, one without a code, one who sucks, and it just doesn't make sense to me at all. Like, at this point, he's kind of given up his code anyway, so it's just a baffling, weird decision. I absolutely hate it. If we lived in a parallel universe where Deb was alive, and he left him with Deb, I think that would kind of make sense and work, or maybe if he left him with, like, Asta and Cody and the grandparents and all that, maybe the abandonment would kind of make sense, because, you know, with a safer, you know, more stable family. But with Hannah, on the run, in Argentina, how is that going to be better for Harrison? It's just baffling and annoying and frustrating, and I absolutely hate it. Plus 3 points for this one. So Harrison calling out Dexter for abandoning him, not just once, but every single day for 10 years, was amazing. It was so cathartic for them to kind of fully embrace season 8. Like, they're not shy of the mistakes and the terrible things that Dexter has done, and that being the worst one. So I just love that he was like calling him out for it. He's just like, I'm having none of this. It was really great for them to embrace and to kind of own those mistakes and to craft it into the story. Whether or not that moment comes too soon and what follows comes too soon and all that stuff is, you know, I'm just talking about that one moment, that line, that little exchange right there. I absolutely love it. Really, really great stuff. And I think it totally works considering that, yeah, he abandoned him every single day. He never considered going back, and that would kill Harrison. And I really, really like that. And yeah, that's really interesting. So minus 2 points. Round 11. The writer's time to craft the final season. So, like most standard long-running TV series, Season 8 just had, you know, 1 year in between Season 7 and Season 8. So, I mean, I can't hold that much against them. They only had that much time. But also, they only had that much time for the rest of the seasons, pretty much, you know, except for the first season. Like all long-running series. So, there's really no excuse for this season to be so much worse than the rest. And that, you know, is in terms of the finale as well. Especially because who knows how long they were really spending on the finale. I mean, this showrunner was here since Season 5. Well, Season 6, I think. So 6, 7, 8, 3. So 3 points for that, because you should have done better, mate. You had 8 years to craft a better finale. 8 years. 8 years, and this is what you come up with? Just this? Just this? This rushed, nothing finale, just with such a quick, easy get out, and you're just like, and we're done. We're done. No hunt for the Bay Harbor Butcher Part 2. No manhunt of any type. You just see Dexter running for like 30 seconds in the woods. Not even. Probably like 5 seconds. You see him running, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Prison Break Season 2 / Breaking Bad last couple of seasons kind of mixed together with a bit of Dexter flavor to it. Where's the trial of Dexter? Where's this? Where's that? Nothing. We're in the woods for 3 minutes, and just bang. That's what you came up with. You had 8 years. 8 years of being like, we haven't got the story yet. I haven't cracked it yet. I've cracked it now. This is what you cracked? This is what you cracked? 8 years, and you came up with this? So, plus 8 points. 1 for every year that you should have been writing a better script. Round 12. Major character death. Deb dies. I absolutely hate the fact that they killed Deb. It's really, really disappointing. An absolute waste and a travesty, and just the way they did it is just terrible as well. 1 point, because the brain surgeon killed her. Get it? The brain surgeon made her brain dead. Get it? Get it? Plus 1 point for killing Deb at all. Just shouldn't have done it. Hate it. And plus 3 points for thinking you can have your cake and eating it too. If you're not going to have Deb and Dexter face off with this final showdown, he's the serial killer, she's the cop, and one of them has to murder the other one. If you're not going to have this showdown, which is fine, but if you're not going to have this showdown, you can't then also have Dexter technically kill her by unplugging the machine or whatever, and then technically the last person that he throws off his boat is Deb. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It doesn't work like that. It feels hollow. It feels unearned. It's just disappointing and just odd, and just that whole moment. Actually, an extra point because he just like steals her from the hospital. And he's just like walking away, and it's just like, oh, no one noticed. No, I know there's a hurricane going on. I know shit's going crazy, but no one noticed him just stealing this body. Like, just feels super weird. Hate it. Hate everything about it. I just shouldn't have killed Deb. Dexter dies. So Dexter dies. On paper, in theory, the end of Dexter really only has a couple of choices. So Dexter dying, that can totally work. So minus 1 point for just the idea. But the execution, I don't really love. I actually kind of hate. So plus 1 for the execution. Plus another point for how brief and unearned it feels. Another plus 1 for it being suicide via Harrison, his son. And plus 1 for robbing us of what I think would have been a really, really great ending to Dexter. You can still kill him, but via execution. And what we could have done, but to lead up to that, is we've got Dexter. He's in prison. And we have the original opening credits music. The majestic, beautiful opening score. And we get Dexter's morning routine, but now he's in prison, so it's kind of a revamped, redone version of the opening credits. Because Dexter New Blood never used opening credits, never did a really cool, fun revamp where he's in the snow or whatever. So I think a really way to kind of honor the original series and to end it forever is to have the last scene, the last moments before his execution, before he sits down and he gets killed via like the electric chair, is you have Dexter's morning routine in prison, and it's shot all the same, all the close-ups, all the beautiful extreme close-ups, but it's Dexter's morning routine in prison, and then you've got the music playing, and then it slowly ends, the music ends, and then we get him sitting in the chair. I just think that would have been so fun, so amazing, such a great way to end the show and kind of honor the legacy of what's come before and everything. So yeah, big point against it for just robbing us of that. Oh, and then, if we had him executed, we could have had Clyde Phillips' original ending, which I think is better than what we got, where he's about to get executed and all the people he's killed are all in the waiting room looking at him just being like... But I think you do a little change up of that. I'm riffing off his idea, where they're all sitting there and everyone's there, but then you have a bunch of strangers and people that were like, saved by him killing killers and all that kind of stuff, and you have them all with banners cheering like the end of season 1 where everyone's cheering and they're like, we love you, Dexter, you kill the killers, we love that, you're a vigilante like Batman, and he's smiling, he's happy, they're all happy that he's there, and then as he dies he's like, it just cuts back to everyone. But no one's happy, no one's smiling, no one's cheering, because of course they're not. That's just one of his crazy delusions. The way he sometimes imagine all these people loving that he's the Bay Harbor Butcher, but they're all just like... Because of course they would be, because he's a serial killer and a monster and all happy he's dead. And then you have Angel there just looking, just being like, oh, I'm satisfied you're dead, but it's also sad and tragic because you were my friend. Plus another point for me having absolutely no emotion when Dexter dies, just no emotional connection, no sadness, no shock, no horror, just kind of like, oh, okay. Especially on a rewatch, I just felt nothing. I just felt so like, alright, that's how you're going to do it, out of all the ways. And another point for just that being how you kill him. Round 13. The finale of the finale. In brackets, I mean the third act of the finale. That's what I mean. Dexter fakes his death, sails into the hurricane, to be reborn a lumberjack, abandoning Harrison. That's the ending we got. In concept, self-exile and distancing himself from all his loved ones to protect them, in theory, on paper, is kind of good. So I'll give that a -1 point for that, but then it all comes down to the execution. And I don't even know what it is fully. I think it's mostly to do with the Deb stuff earlier, or maybe it's just the way it's shot, the way he rides into the hurricane. It's so odd and weird. Then just seeing the shots of him just wandering about as a lumberjack. Then it just has that one shot where he just looks at the camera. And I don't really feel like I understand what he's going through, what's going through his mind in this moment. It never works for me. It's super baffling and confusing. So yeah, 3 points for that. And the only thing I'll say is I just rewatched it today having seen the New Blood finale. And it's actually kind of baffling that ending does actually work for me more now. Watching it, it still doesn't work. I don't love it, but the emotion I have at the end of the episode compared to the emotion I have at the end of the New Bloods episode, it's pretty different. I'm not shaking my head being like, what? And maybe it's because it's been 10 years and I've just accepted it. It's almost just a funny meme now. Dexter sailed into the hurricane to become a lumberjack. He's a lumberjack now. But there's something open-ended about it that I think works. So maybe a -1 point for the open-endedness, where your mind can kind of, when there's still potential stories, your mind can always play games and have fun in that imaginative world. So maybe that's what I latch onto now, post New Blood. But yeah, I don't know. It was fascinating to rewatch it again today. That's all I can say. So the second finale. Dexter New Blood. Dexter's just killed Logan. He's running through the snow. Harrison's there. There's so much up in the air. So many plates spinning. Angel, he's on his way. When is that confrontation with Angel and Dexter going to happen? What's going to happen with Harrison and Dexter? Will they escape Iron Lakes? Prison? Death? What's going to happen with Angela? She's just found out that Kurt murdered all these women, all these people. Dexter presumably knew, so he's presumably stopped Kurt with his Bay Harbor Butcher murderness. Is she going to let him go for what he's done with Kurt? All these ideas, all these thoughts, so much happening. And then Dexter's like, actually, I opt out of this whole situation. Suicide via son. Bang. Harrison kills him. Even though Harrison said, I don't want to be a killer or a murderer, but then immediately murders his dad. He doesn't shoot him in the leg or anything like that to make the cops come. All this stuff. Lots of issues with this. Lots of issues with this. So I'm going to give a +1 for Harrison not shooting him in the leg. I'm going to give a +2 for Angela not having to have that moral dilemma and question with Dexter, because, she just gets there and Dexter's dead. So she never had to, come up with that idea of, do I let him go because he said Kurt, do I not? All this kind of stuff. I'm going to give a +5 points for Dexter's coward suicide via son. It just feels really weird. He's just murdered Logan to get back to his son. And his son's like, I don't like any of this. Turn yourself in. He's like, all right, okay, I'm going to bail then. I'll bail. I'll catch you later. So he killed Logan to get to his son. His son's like, no, so he bails. And then his son's like, think about what you did. And 2 seconds of having montage flashbacks to all these people that died. because of him, except for Lundy. Lundy was there, but Lundy didn't die because of him. Lundy died because of Trinity's daughter, so I don't know why he was there. I guess they were just like, we got to get that sexy motherfucker back in here, get a shot of him in there, make everyone feel nostalgic for the old show. Because I saw him, I'm like, oh, Lundy. I love me some Lundy. Then I'm like, on the rewatch, I'm just like, wait, why is Lundy there? Like, all the other characters, like, he didn't kill Dokes, but, you know, he locked him up and, you know, circumstance and situation, I can see how he feels guilty. He didn't kill LaGuerta, but I feel like he feels responsible for making Deb feel forced to kill LaGuerta over him. So, I understand all the others. Why is Lundy there? Such a nitpick for how many other things are wrong with this episode. It doesn't matter. So instead of getting prison time or a manhunt or a trial of Dexter, all these amazing, exciting things, Dexter's just like, I'm gonna take responsibility. I'm gonna change my mind from I've seen everyone's faces in a montage. I've changed my mind. Kill me, right here. Just shoot me in the goddamn heart. Let's end this. It's so rushed. It's so brief. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what else to say. It's just so rushed. You could do this over a couple more episodes, a season, just even like 45 more minutes of these two characters on the run, and then this happens. Like, it's just so brief. It's so sudden. It's so like I think I was just in shock when I did my like full episode review. I think I was just in shock. Like, it didn't even really occur to me as that as an ending. There was so much in this episode I enjoyed, and that last 5 minutes, it just is over, and you're just like, okay. And then I was recording, and I was like having fun recording all this stuff. But now I've had a couple of days to sit on. I'm thinking about it. I've rewatched the episode, and then rewatching the other finale. I mean, and I watched them for a compare and contrast video, like the verses. So I was like thinking about that, but I was also just watching it again, and it just occurred to me how like oddly brief it is. Just how much potential there is for story and excitement and just all these interesting things. I mean, at this point, I knew that from the running time, yeah, the manhunt for the Bay Harbor Butcher, Part 2, all this stuff. Probably not going to get it. We're probably not going to get a trial. We're not going to get all these really exciting things, all this cool stuff. But there is one thing that you could have scraped in 5 more minutes of screen time for. One thing that I actually think would have fixed this episode. I actually think it's something that would have changed how I felt about this episode. I think it is so much worse, so much more egregious than any other issue, any other tiny little nitpick like, oh, it's ketamine. You always did ketamine. No, he didn't. He did M99, which everyone commented every episode of my reviews. He used M99. Oh, I'm an idiot. I never really noticed or remembered those kind of things. But that's a huge, huge plot hole. Why? But who cares? Who cares about that compared to the fact that Angel was not only just in episode 5, but in this episode. Angel was in this episode. Before the season came out, my biggest issue with seeing the trailer and just the hype around the whole show was, oh, no original characters. Oh, not even in Miami. Oh, this, all that. We're all in the snow. It's all Fargo, no hot, sweaty boys in Miami. Because I want to see him and Angel have a face-off. But we can't get that. That's fine. Episode 5 comes around. Angel's back. Oh my God. He's going to come into it. Blah, blah, blah. All these things. And then he just wasn't in the rest of the... okay, fine. I forgot about it. Completely forgot. Didn't expect him to come back. It was just a fun little cameo to set the ball rolling for Angela. Fine. Whatever. It is what it is. But then he appears in this episode. Not just in this episode, but he sees a photo of Dexter alive. And he's like, what the bloody hell? And then he's like, LaGuerta died, my ex-wife died. And she's like, who killed him? He's like, we don't know. And the music plays and we see a shot of Dexter sitting in that photo, implying that he's thinking, oh my dear Lord, it actually was Dexter. Dexter was the Bay Harbor Butcher. Oh my God. The confrontation's coming. He grabs the portfolio of all the files, all the things. He's coming to Iron Lakes. He says, I am coming to Iron Lake. Why on earth? Why on God's good green earth? Why the fuck would you do that? It is so baffling, so infuriating, so crazy to set something up like that. To set it up. So exciting, so amazing, so palatable, so... The showdown of a lifetime, 10 years in the making. Angel, Dexter. Is it going to be a big, heightened, you are the Bay Harbor Butcher, bang, bang, bang? Or is it going to be this slow, sad moment where he's like, it was you, the Bay Harbor Butcher. Tear rolling down his eye. Just, why didn't you give us this? But not only why didn't you give us this, why did you set it up and not give it to us? If you had just never set it up, I never would have wanted it. Because I was over that. I've had 10 years to get over that we weren't going to get that in season 8. 10 years to realize that's not what we get. And now you make this new show. And I was just like, well, we're not going to get that, so it's not an expectation. But you put him in a cameo, not just in one episode, but in the finale, coming... Like, he's like 2 hours late. But we don't even get that, like, moment where he looks over Dexter's body and he's like, I'm just late. And there's, like, this bittersweet horror to it all, or anything. It is so baffling to me. It is so intolerable. And so, in honor of this whole rankings points thingy, I'm going to give this moment the most points. And you might be like, that seems like too many points. And I'm going to tell you, it's fucking not. So, for Angel not having a confrontation with Dexter, I'm going to give 50 points to Gryffindor. 50 points to Dexter New Blood. Actually, let's make it 60. 60 points. Disgraceful. I hate it so much. And our final round, round 14. The showrunner making crazy bold claims online. So as far as I'm aware, they didn't do this for season 8. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't Google it. I didn't want to. I only did this so I could shit on Clyde Phillips when I do the New Blood segment. So 0 points for this one. Hey, that's not fair, audience member says. You can't just make a segment that doesn't apply to one or only applies to the other. Well, actually, do you remember when I said I'm the judge, jury, and bloody Dextercutioner? I can do whatever I want, mate. So Clyde Phillips, you made some pretty wild claims. So wild, in fact, that I had to put an extra bonus round just for you. Just so I can rant about how annoyed I am that you've done this, because you set up the expectations so high, you promised so much. You claimed that this is the best thing you've ever written. Did you not actually write any of season 1 to 4? Because every single episode in those 4 seasons is better than this. I don't understand. Dexter was a masterpiece. This is just not that. Like, I didn't hate it on the first watch, but on a rewatch, it just, like, on the rewatch today, and I just watched the season 8 finale, like, the compare and contrast was just like, this ending makes me way less satisfied. This ending makes me just like, I don't even know what to say. I'm just like, what? Oh, just, it's so brief, and like, it just cut off. It's so short and sharp, and just, oh, he's actually dead. Oh, he's just actually dead. Like, what? We're not even going to get like a moment like in Scream where he's like, I'm dead. No, I'm not dead. I'm a horror monster. Or just nothing. No moment where he's like actually wakes up in hospital and he wakes up and Angel's there and he's like, you son of a bitch. I was waiting for a post-credit scene. I mean, that's Marvel's fault. I mean, that's my Marvel brain just being like, maybe there's a post-credit scene. Maybe this is when the internet's going to blow up. Because you claimed that the internet will blow up. This is a crazy, shocking, satisfying, inevitable, but amazing end. You said so many big words. You claimed so much. And then you said, we started at the end and we worked backwards. So this, you've always planned to do it like this and work backwards. But when you reevaluate the season, it doesn't feel like this is where you were going and heading. This feels like you were doing something for the whole season. And even in this finale, it feels like you're doing something for so long. And then the last 5 minutes, you're like, oh, actually, no, let's end it now. It's like, what? Did you have 12 episodes? And you're like, actually, no one wants to see Dexter on the run for 2 episodes with Harrison. And Harrison slowly realizes that he doesn't want to have the Dark Passenger Dexter-style thing. And maybe he was actually just, you know, an angsty teen that was very, very violent. And I don't know. Maybe he just needs therapy. I don't know. Maybe you should have spent longer. A couple more episodes. Or, you know, a whole season. Or, I mean, who knows? But 5 minutes in the woods with a couple of really great lines and then just a turn for Dexter where he's just like, suicide via son. This is how we're gonna do it. You're gonna follow the code and kill me. Your first serial killer, but your last serial killer. You're not gonna be a killer. You're not a murderer. You've said that. But it's just so confused. It's so muddled. It's so confusing. It's so short. This isn't gonna blow up the internet. Except, oh no! I realized, Clyde Phillips. I realized what you were saying. We all presumed when you said you were going to blow up the internet that was a positive thing. Like we were all be like, oh, it's the Red Wedding. Oh, it's the other 5,000 moments of Game of Thrones where we're just like, you know, until it got really, really shit. But actually, what you meant when you said I was going to blow up the internet is that you were going to make Dexter, you know, one of the most beloved series of all time. You're going to make its legacy. Make the thing that everyone remembers it for. That it not only botched 1 finale, but it botched 2 finales. Now we have, you know, Game of Thrones, the worst finale ever. Dexter, the 2nd worst finale ever. Dexter New Blood, the 3rd worst finale ever. A masterpiece. That's a legacy that will outlive us all. So, Dexter, season 8 finale, got this many points, and Dexter New Blood finale got this many points. And look at that. It was so close for so long. But, you know, especially rewatching both episodes for a second time, you know, this year, today, I really sunk into me that one does a lot wrong. The other does a lot wrong too, but then, you know, one of them in particular, this bloody guy over here, just does something intolerable, inconceivably frustrating to me that every single other moment of the episode I don't care about. Both of these finales have problems, and those problems are legion. And we all know that. That's why I'm here, doing the verses, being Dumbledore, giving out points like it's bloody end of year feast. But why would you put Angel in the finale? Why would you put him in the finale? I think everyone agrees with me, so I just cannot understand, Clive Phillips. What were you thinking, you madman? What were you thinking? Did I actually just make this video so I could do another why was an Angel and Dexter face-off confrontation video? Maybe. Probably. I don't think I even realized that till right now, but I'm just... Oh, I really thought I would have calmed down after a couple of days, but every day it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Hopefully at some point I'm just going to, completely forget and not care about Dexter New Blood anymore. But it's just so hot and frustrating. I don't understand. There's so many bad decisions in these finales. There's so many. But this one is just intolerably inconceivable. What were you thinking? What were you thinking? You said this was going to satisfy everyone? You madman, Clive Phillips. You're a